The Baumoff Explosive, or Eloi Lama Sabachthani, by Hope Hodgson. Dally, Whitelaw and I were discussing the recent stupendous explosion which had occurred in the vicinity of Berlin. We were marvelling concerning the extraordinary period of darkness that had followed, and which had aroused so much newspaper comment, with theories galore. The papers had got hold of the fact that the war authorities had been experimenting with a new explosive, invented by a certain chemist named Baumoff, and they referred to it constantly as the new Baumoff Explosive. We were in the club, and the fourth man at our table was John Stafford, who was professionally a medical man, but privately in the intelligence department. Once or twice as we talked, I had glanced at Stafford, wishing to fire a question at him, for he had been acquainted with Baumoff, but I managed to hold my tongue, for I knew that if I asked out point blank, Stafford, who's a good sort, but a bit of an ass as regards his almost ponderous code of silence, would be just as like as not to say that it was a subject upon which he felt he was not entitled to speak. Oh, I know the old donkey's way. And when he had once said that, we might just make up our minds never to get another word out of him on the matter, as long as we lived. Yet I was satisfied to notice that he seemed a bit restless, as if he were on the itch to shove in his oar, by which I guessed that the papers we were quoting had got things very badly muddled indeed in some way or other, at least as regarded his friend Baumoff. Suddenly he spoke. "What unmitigated wicked piffle," said Stafford, quite warm. "I tell you it is wicked, this associating of Baumoff's name with war inventions and such horrors. He was the most intently poetical and earnest follower of the Christ that I have ever met, and it is just the brutal irony of circumstance that has attempted to use one of the products of his genius for a purpose of destruction. But you'll find they won't be able to use it, in spite of their having got hold of Baumoff's formula. As an explosive, it is not practicable. It is, shall I say, too impartial. There is no way of controlling it. I know more about it, perhaps, than any man alive, for I was Baumoff's greatest friend, and when he died I lost the best comrade a man ever had. And he'd make no secret about it to you chaps. I was on duty in Berlin, and I was deputed to get in touch with Baumoff. The government had long had an eye on him. He was an experimental chemist, you know, and altogether too jolly clever to ignore, but there was no need to worry about him. I got to know him, and we became enormous friends, for I soon found that he would never turn his ability.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?